Okay, so an important part of the Raspberry Pi is creating basically the disk drive that you're going to keep the OS on so that you can make the Raspberry Pi run. Generally, when a Raspberry Pi ships, there's already a micro SD card. Micro SD cards look a lot like that, and they're very, very, very small. This one happens to be an 8 gigabyte. When I'm teaching my networking classes, I have them by 32 gigs. And the reason to do 32 gigs is if you're doing something like Ubuntu or Kali Linux, then it's going to need that much more space. Fortunately, the Raspbian OS doesn't take up as much space, so we'll do this with the 8 gig card. So the next thing I'll need is a way to copy or put the OS on that little card. I had you all, or I asked many of recommend, I think is the best way to put it, a micro SD card reader that looks like this, that also will be a USB reader, so you can plug in your keyboard and your mouse into this, and you've only got one thing to plug into the Raspberry Pi. But you can also plug this into your your desktop or laptop, and then you can take the little card and put it with the pins towards the middle of the reader like that, and then you have your card inserted. Another way to do it is many of the when you buy these cards from like Walmart, someplace like that, you'll get a regular size SD card adapter. And what you can do is take, and you have the little metal pins, and you just have the metal pin facing towards the other metal pins, and insert it just like that, and then it's ready to go. Then you can plug that in to either your laptop, or in my case, my desktop, or if you're using the USB hublet, then you would plug this into your computer. And then the next thing you need to do is get a Raspberry Pi imager program. To do that, you can open up your web browser, and you can go to Raspberry Pi imager, do a search on that, and you go to Raspberry Pi OS, and here you can download, in my case Ubuntu, but you can do a download from Windows or Mac OS, and with this you'll need to follow the directions for whichever computer you have for installing software on your laptop. After you've done that, you get a little icon that I put in my dock down here that has a little Raspberry Pi on it. You open that up, and you have your software right here. And the first thing you're going to do is choose your device, and in this case I'm going to pick a Raspberry Pi 5. I'm going to choose the OS that I want, which is the Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit. And then you choose the storage. And when you're choosing your storage, be sure you pick the storage that has nothing else on it. Either get a brand new SD card, or you're absolutely sure that there's no pictures of grandma or mom or somebody else on there that you're about ready to destroy, because once you do this, everything gets wiped out. Just a word of warning. After you select that, you click next. Would you like to apply OS customizations? Yes, you do. And so I'll go in here and edit my settings. Now I've already put these in because this is what I typically do. For the host name, you're going to do tech, or you can do anything you want to for these next settings. Just do remember what they are. And I go for kind of simple stuff so that when I'm doing things I can remember it. The other thing you'll want to remember is that this is not for production use in terms of low levels of security. You shouldn't have a problem with that. If you want to make it, the passwords especially, more complicated, you can do that. I keep mine simple, but I also know that I'm behind a firewall and I'm really just doing things on my own little network here. So you'll set the host name to tech. You'll set the username and password. I've set the username to tech. I've set the password to password. And then I've got a wireless LAN that I've got set up in my office. The SSID for that is tech. Yours may be Aris 5G, something like that. Look at the bottom or look on the router that you're using for your home network for wireless access, internet access, and that kind of thing. It'll have this information on it. In this case, again, mine's tech for here in the office, and then the password is what I've set it to be on the router myself. Mine is a hidden SSID because I don't want everybody trying to get in to use that router and do other slightly nefarious things behind the firewall, so I've left that hidden. The wireless LAN is US, and then I've set the locale settings to Chicago and US. The next thing I'll go to is services. This is important because you will need to enable SSH. It's a way of remoting into your Raspberry Pi, which is really helpful. And be sure you have password authentication set. That password is going to be the same thing that you set over here. So the username will be tech, and the password will be whatever you've set it to be over here. So you want to be sure that that's set like that. For options, I just have everything turned off right here. I'll click save, and then I'll go ahead and start and click yes, and it says, are you sure you want to do this? Everything will be wiped out. Say yes, and then you get a password login. This is the login information on the computer that you have the Raspberry Pi imager installed on. So if you have Windows, it's your Windows password. If you have a Mac, it's your Mac password. Type that in. Click authenticate, and it's saying it's preparing to write. Here in a minute it'll start writing, and then it's going to verify, and when it's done we'll get a nice little dialog screen up here. So I'm going to pause the recording for a minute, and I will get back to you as soon as we're finished on this end. Okay, so we finished doing a successful write, and we've also done a successful verification. That's what takes so long, but well worth it. So I'm going to click continue, and I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to take my little card, which I just ejected, and I'm going to pull it out of its little reader or adapter. So I'm going to take my card out of my adapter like that. I'm going to grab my Raspberry Pi, and on the bottom is this little card reader, if you will, that's on the Pi. I'm going to go ahead and insert it with the pins facing the board, just like that, and push it in, and now we're ready to boot up the Pi. So thanks for watching, and hope it's made sense to you.